Carrying on looking at our calculus rules. So we've seen the chain rule, we've seen the product rule, now we've got the quotient rule. So the product rule yesterday was two functions multiplied together. Quotient rule is when we have functions divided by. So u over v, u and v being different functions. There's the formula for it. This is how I do it. Square the bottom, write down the bottom, diff the top, minus write down the top and diff the bottom. Again, it's one of these ones, you do it as you say it and then you just doing the steps. Let's have a look at an example of how we use it. So something like this. X over 1 plus 2x. Square the bottom. So the first thing I do is I draw the fraction bar in, and then whatever's on the bottom, I just whack parentheses around it and go squared. Then write down the bottom. So 1 plus 2x, that's the first thing I write down. Diff the top. Well, the top is x. Differentiate that, I get 1. Minus, write down the top, x. Diff the bottom, differentiate 1 plus 2x, we get 2. Let's tidy the top up. And there it is, 1 over 1 plus 2x all squared. So square the bottom, write down the bottom, diff the top, minus write down the top, diff the bottom. 2x on the square root of x squared minus 4. Square the bottom. Well, square a square root, and it's just back to the function itself, so x squared minus 4. Write down the bottom, but I've written it in index form, so x squared minus 4 to the power of a half. Diff the top, differentiate 2x, we get 2. Minus write down the top, 2x. Diff the bottom, but I'm going to have to use our chain rule, so bring down the power, a half, lower the power, minus a half, diff the inside, so differentiate x squared minus 4, 2x, push that out, there it is, 2x. Bit of tidying up to do here, 2x times a half times 2x, so we get, in that second term, 2x squared. We have common factors here, we've got a common factor of 2. We also have x squared minus 4. It's the lowest power we want, so the minus a half. Well, if it's minus a half, that'll end up going to the bottom of the fraction. We'll deal with that in a sec. Inside what's left, we've got x squared minus 4 minus x squared. So that would be minus 4. You'll now see I've moved that x squared minus 4 to the minus half to the bottom of the fraction, which is of course the square root of x squared minus 4. And 2 times minus 4 is negative 8. We have an answer. There is a fourth rule. Now, it's not a rule that you'll see in any textbooks or anything, and probably not one your tutors have told you about. But it's a quick way of doing questions where there's a constant on the top of the fraction. You got a constant on the top of the fraction, rather than using the whole of the quotient rule, it can be abbreviated like this. The way I think about it is minus the derivative on the function squared. Minus the derivative on the function squared. So something like this, 1 on x squared. Now of course I could change that to index form. I could make that x to the minus 2 and do it that way, but we'll use it as an example. So what I'm saying is, well, there's a constant on the top, so I'll just go minus the derivative. Well, the derivative of what? Well, it's got to be the bottom of the fraction, because on the top we had a constant. So it's the bottom of the fraction I'm worried about. Differentiate x squared, I get 2x, so minus 2x goes on the top. So minus the derivative on the function squared. Well, if I square x squared, I get x to the power of 4. Tidy that up, minus 2 on x cubed. 6 on 4x squared plus 3, so I've got a constant on the top, minus the derivative. Well, the derivative of 4x squared plus 3 is 8x. Still got the constant of 6 on the top there. And on the bottom, on the function squared. So 4x squared plus 3, all squared. Minus 48x on 4x squared plus 3, all squared. Well, that'll do us with our calculus rules, so we'll add 9i into the mix.